get
Perfect.
started.
Perfect. Thank you everyone for joining us. In this AMA today, we have with us today LitBit. I don't need to introduce the team. The team has been around for a very long time. Savage Fisher is the face in this space. So I believe let's just thank the team for being with us today. I know you for some time now. We've been talking in different places, different groups, different private groups. I'd consider you a friend in the space. So first of all, please introduce to us a little bit and what is the project all about? Who's the team behind it? Maybe just a quick run through of the vision in the short and midterm, and maybe later as well a long-term vision for the project.
All right, no problem. So my name is Steve Jones. You guys know me in the space of Savagery Finisher. I've got some of my team here, and we'll introduce ourselves. My COO, CFO, Tino, also known as Bravka, he's not available at the moment, but we do have a couple other team members. I have Sassy Mama here. She's one of our female podcasters, also our clerical, helps with all our secretarial. If you could say hi, Sassy.
Hi, I'm Sassy Mama, and I am the podcaster, LitBit Flex.
You guys have to bear with me. I'm driving. Who else is in here, Sassy, from the team? Nixa. All right, so Nixon's here. He is our Discord manager, also podcaster. Nixa, go ahead and say hello.
Hey guys, as Savage said, I'm 1/3 of our podcast team and I'm managing our Discord as well. Glad to be here.
Oh, he also managed our Reddit, guys. So a little bit about us. Again, we're LitBit. Our goal is to be a tier 1 premier exclusive launchpad. And by exclusivity, I mean exclusive by the projects we bring out and even who is going to be able to participate. So on that lines, the exclusivity by the projects we launch will be through our vetting process, our taking our KYC and doxing to a whole nother level, but not just vetting a single person or a representative from the team of the project. We'll be vetting the whole team, anyone involved, from the developers to CEOs. We'll also be vetting the socials, websites, make sure these guys aren't coming out and purchasing their domain name one day and launching the next. Our goal is to incubate projects, and by incubation, that's to work with them hand in hand, almost as in take them as a part of our ecosystem, because the goal is to cross market, to look over their everything, their socials, like I said, give them advice on what they need to change, whether it be the vesting, tokenomics. It's literally almost like creating an ecosystem with the projects we bring to the space. By making also available for staking on our platform, so adding utility to these guys, so you can actually, if they don't already on their own platform, have another additional passive utility. Let's see a little more about the project. Itself. Man, I got a bad echo. Does anybody else hear this?
It's all right. It's not too loud. It's okay.
Okay. So our utility itself, not only, like I said, as a launch pad, but a full service launch pad. We plan on having token lockers, LP lockers, custodial wallets for this. So once again, that brings a level of safety to the projects we bring out, because we'll require locking of the LP team wallets on our utility. So that puts us a step ahead when it comes to that control or a little more security in the project. Even when it comes down to even the creating the IDOs and doing the public rounds, we'll have the option through our custodial wallets. We can already create what would be a liquidity pool for these projects that will be locked in house. And again, just another extra, just bonus of security, instead of us just collecting tokens, sending them to a team and having them locking their liquidity somewhere else, or as you see with a lot of launch pads in the BSC. So it really, it leaves the air open for these guys can walk away with whatever was collected and not even go into fruition with the launch. Also, we have plan on implementing what we call a high council. If you look at our roadmap, So our goal here is to bring in leaders of the space, whether it be through lounges, blockchain representatives, other launch pads, projects, leaders of the space, where we will actually have a vote after we've already vetted and done our side, whether we feel as a team, as a whole, as this council, whether we should move forward in launching this project. If we don't, if it's not an agreement through this council, we won't bring it to fruition. We won't work with the project. So again, that gives the community more of a say, leaders of the community, because at some point, leaders of the community are going to have to step up and do similar to us and take accountability for what we're bringing to the space. And that's where all the fears of DeFi regulation is to say that is eventually coming. As some sort of self-regulation, I believe, loosen the reins of what may come in the future. Also, utility-wise, we plan on launching a metaverse NFT, 3D NFT that we utilize through our space and our utility by giving it some sort of bonus to investors who own, depending on the tier level of the NFT, say range from the rare and common. Each different range in the NFT will give it a different bonus on the utility, whether it be through extra allocation, an automatic whitelist, and whatnot. And one way we're making the fairness in the NFT, the launch of the NFT incorporated in, we'll be minting in blocks. This way, we're not doing a full mint and doing a money grab like most NFT projects you see. If we mint in blocks, depending on the amount of holders that are in our project, this gives the opportunity for future holders and future investors to actually take advantage of the NFT instead of minting them all out on the marketplace.
That's beautiful. I think you gave us a very, very detailed walk through the different utilities that you guys are planning to build. Which brings me to my next question, which is about the blockchain. I know that you guys are planning to go cross-chain, but you're starting with Crow. Can you tell us why you started with Cronos, apart from the obvious reasons that it is very bullish and it's done by crypto.com and like is going to be heavily marketed? But other than this, what else do you see an add or a plus for you guys to start on Crow?
Well, we're native token is going to be on Crow, of course, but we're starting cross-chain. The utility will be cross-chain from launch. But the reason our native token is on Crow, number one, is like you said, everyone, if they're not bullish on Crow, they should be because of what's coming in the future. And currently, volume-wise grows every day. The unique wallets grows every day. But even beyond that, your investors that are in Crow right now are savvy investors to a point. Now, most of them didn't just luck up and find Crow or find projects on Crow. They're actually doing due diligence and looking into it. They see and are already educated on what the possibilities of Crow is and the growth. So everyone invests in crypto to benefit, to make money. And let's be honest, that's why anyone is in crypto. Well, if you take Crow, for example, and this is what I bring up in every AMA, what do you think is more likely to happen? Crow to 10x or BNB to 10x? I mean, and that's just
of course, Crow.
Right. And that is basic mathematics. And that's where, honestly, if you invest, whether it be on the token side or on the coin side, savvy investors invest in coins also, stable coins. Well, my portfolio personally at the moment is 90% Crow. I still have my previous stables and all that, but I've moved a lot into the Cronos chain. And not only because our project is going on the Cronos chain, but because of what I see as an ROI on the Cronos chain. So that's our main reason for going with Crow. And because well,
sorry, go ahead. I cut you. Sorry.
No, that's no problem. Since we're going to be paired with Crow, as that market cap of Crow increases, that means our project increases, not just our market cap, the profitability, but the funds that we have put aside to keep investing in our project and develop our future utilities or anything we want to do. That gives us more funds to create. That gives us more funds to have a future and make that sustainability. Because in crypto, that's the largest or the most prominent problem I see. You'll see tokens launch and they have nothing set up for a future. You know, they'll blow their whole marketing wallet at launch, and then there's nothing left. It's not ran properly, and that's what we're setting ours different so we can grow that blockchain and increase our. I mean, whether it go tenfold, 20, who knows what it's going to do. But I do guarantee it's going to move forward. I don't see Crow being in a BNB slump. There's a big difference when you take 10% of, it's like 500 on BNB, so you're down. If you take 10% of that, I mean, that's huge compared to right now, Crow's trading at 40 cents, or it might have went up with the spike. But your deficit isn't as large at the moment on Crow. So you can take a larger hit on that blockchain in the beginning, and you'd be willing, that I'm willing to take on Ethereum or BNB. Does that make sense?
100%, 100%. I think it's very realistic, and I like people who are realistic in general. We see a lot of empty talks in this space. We see a lot of empty promises, but at the end of the day, we have to focus on things that make sense and that are realistic. And I think you guys are really working on that. And honestly, that's one of the reasons I am very bullish for the project. My next question is going to be about fundraising. I know that you guys have been fundraising in a very, very different way than what we've seen before. I personally noticed that you guys working very closely with communities, especially for the pyramid. Could you tell us what's your approach to fundraising? Also, know that you're raising almost $3 million. It's not an easy amount, but so far from what I see, you're in the right direction. Can you tell us more
I'm
about
so sorry, Ash. I missed half of that. I don't know if you cut out on
that? No worries. So what I was saying is basically you guys from what I see, you guys have taken a very different approach to fundraising than what we usually see on the space. And you're looking at raising almost $3 million. The approach in itself, at least from a private sale perspective, looks very interesting. And honestly, it looks very solid, and I can see that there are results from that side. So could you tell us more about why did you choose this approach, and how are you going to achieve your targeted funds?
Okay. Well, right now the only offering of the private round has been to the VC groups. We've literally only spoken to two, and it's because we're working in cooperation. Well, now three. So, and working in cooperation with them. And again, that is very selective on who we have dealt with. Our seed round has been put to tier 1 and tier 2 VCs. We're in talks with them trying to get everything nailed down. We've also spoken with market makers and a blockchain advisor, and we haven't sealed any deals there. But when we do, we will announce. I really don't think that it's that we're doing it any special way, other than we are allowing for the guys in the VCs who we've approached to deposit in BEP20 also. And the only reason we have done that is because there's a lot of inexperienced investors that haven't learned to use bridges, haven't learned to import the Cronos chain into wallets. So we want to give them an opportunity to invest too. And we'll take care of the bridging side for them. And all it is just we want to bring more investors to that blockchain. Right? A lot of if we were to say just standard VSC investors are not real savvy, and they need to be helped along that line. And that's where another huge portion of our project is heading towards, is education, helping these guys build a solid ground on another blockchain. And that's really the only difference. We will have, at this moment, I can't release the name, we do plan on doing a round of our private on another pad. Our IDO itself will be done on our pad, so that's not a little different. So really, the only difference we've done is we've made it a little easier for people on another blockchain to participate. And like I said, by adding that BEP20. And since we're so far out, I mean, dude, as you know, because you're in the groups, we're early. I mean, we're not our March, late March, early April launch, and depending on the market, it might be a little later in April. We're not pushing the way you normally see when collecting funds because we're not in a hurry. There's nothing we're rushing. We're not rushing our process. We're doing everything more along the lines of an actual business because myself and Tino, that's where we come from in the real world. In the real world, you can't do crowdfunding or business funding in a 1 hour pre-sale and actually be able to bring education to what these people are investing in. And that's why we've started the AMA process and the growing of the community and everything so early. And we want that information out there instead of people just blindly investing in a project. The people that blindly invest are not the ones that stay with you. We want an educated, informed investor. Those are the ones that will stick with us throughout our utility. The longer they're with us, of course, the more profitable it is, not only for them, but is us. And that's what we want.
I think that's a great segue to my next question, which is about what I know is that you have three different fundraising tiers. So you have the seed, the private, and the IDO. Can you tell us about the vesting for these different fundraising levels and how does it work?
Yeah. Now I'm going to be going a little bit by memory here, just because I'm on the mobile driving. For our
I
seed,
can read it for you if you want. I can read it for you and you can explain it.
oh yeah. Well, the seed has
Okay.
the way we a 90-day cliff, and then it's
Yes.
broke down on monthly drops. So one thing you have to pay attention, we weren't able to extend that vesting map into single months, so we got it in quarters. But it's not a quarter drop; it's still done every month. So that after the 90-day cliff, I think they get 5% TGE, 90-day cliff, and am I correct with it being 9%? If you have the pitch deck,
Yes, it's a sort of this. So basically, the private has a 60 days and then it's 27% per quarter. I believe it's divided by 3, and that's 9% per month, right?
yes.
Did you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, again, that's what it's 27% divided by 3, so it's a 9% drop per month. Extended out, if I'm correct, 14 months.
It's actually extended on 14 months. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So the reason it's set up like this, the seed round has the availability for the largest allocation. We have a max wallet of 1% in our contract. That's what we're working on in our contract. No one will exceed 1%. And that's the cutoff for the VCs. So again, having 1% of our supply, we need to have that lockdown. We need to make sure the VCs that we work with actually perform and do what they're supposed to do instead of having that and just murder us at launch. I mean, it's the smartest way to protect not only the project, but the other level participants or investors in our early rounds.
Thank you for walking us through these details. So my next question. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the private. If you want me to go through the other rounds too. The private has a 10% TGE, 60-day cliff, and then, of course, I can't see what the allocation is. I'm sorry, guys, if you could help me with that. Again,
let me read it for you. So the private price is 0.03. It has 10% TGE and then a cliff of 60 days. And then it's 9% in the first quarter, then 27% per quarter.
Yes.
That's what
and then again, yeah. And again, with all this, the main thing, if you notice, all of our wallets are vested. It don't matter if it's the marketing, the team advisors locked for a year, the liquidity, everything is vested out. And another reason for this is what that does. It gives us the opportunity to have a lower circulating supply. That lower circulating supply gives us the ability to start at a lower market cap. So our starting market cap at this moment is about 450,000. If we did not have this vesting schedule and this lower inflation during the vesting schedule, we'd be starting at about a 20 million market cap. So that's why the vesting throughout on all the wallets.
Which makes total sense. I think earlier I was discussing it with one of the guys, one of my we really think that the way that has been done from you guys and the approach that you guys took makes a lot of sense, because at the end of the day, you don't want it to be 17 million. I believe that was the number that was brought up in that conversation with that specific friend. You don't want it to be 17 million market cap at launch, which is going to be quite challenging, I believe, to grow further. I think really the approach that you guys have taken makes a lot of sense. One thing that we didn't discuss and we didn't bring up with our community is, what are your dates, guys? When are you starting the pre-sale? When are you planning to launch? So basically, yeah, the roadmap, exactly.
Yeah, we haven't nailed down an exact date for any of it yet. And the reason being, so for the launch, the reason being, we want to make sure our utility is 100%. So now, Tino and I in the past, like I said, we managed another Launchpad project, and it had, honestly, it truly had, if done right, the potential to do quite well. We managed the community, we managed the marketing, we managed everything except the devs, and we tried to manage them, and it didn't work out. But we took that to 37 million market cap within a week of launch before their first IDO, and from there, it kind of went down. We also had a little bit of the crash in the market, but mismanagement, improper side on the dev side, and just not running it properly brought that down to, I think now it's like 2 million. So, I mean, we know how to do our job and to bring that hype and bring that the correct utility to market. But the thing is, we also know how to deal with not having that effect on our project, by making the correct decisions. And the main one of the problem was buggy. The utility was buggy. We were having IDOs, people couldn't participate. They were getting errors, gas errors. It was horrible. I mean, even as myself trying to participate in IDOs at the Launchpad,
You're cutting, you're cutting a little bit, Sabi.
All right, hold on. I'm getting ready to pull over. I want to explain this one well. Can you hear me better now?
Yes. So please continue.
Okay. So.
Yes.
All right. So on that side, like I said,
Yes.
as an investor, I wasn't even able to participate in IDOs that Launchpad brought to fruition. So, and it was because of bugs on the website and the bugs in the utility. So these are all things that we're making sure don't happen. So we can't give you an exact date of our launch because we want to make sure that development is 100%. It's going to go to testnet. It's going to give the opportunity for the community to use our utility on the testnet, make sure everything works. And again, we're not in a hurry. We don't want to be in a hurry. When you get into a hurry, that's when you make mistakes. So we are thinking the next the private we will take.
Yeah,
to the public
it makes total sense, and it's good. Sorry, can you hear me?
Well, yes, I can hear you. Well, what it does, it protects the project and it protects the investors.
So actually, this brings me to my next question, which is about the development. I know that you guys have been in talks with one of the biggest development companies that is available in the space. Can you tell us more about that? Beyond. Tell us more about Beyond.
Well, Beyond is a Croatian-based IT development company. And again, they have worked on other blockchains. One of the largest ones they did a massive called Revuto on ADA Cardano. And if you do a little deep research on them, you can see, and I can actually share to you guys. I'm getting ready to get almost pulling up at the house so I can share you on the Wi-Fi some of the DApps that they've created. These guys are very particular, very picky. It's not like we're just using some random blockchain dev from BSC Ethereum or anything like that. What we're used to seeing. These aren't Fiverr devs. So what that does is gives us a quality product. And that's, again, we can't rush. These guys are already rushing for us. And again, we can't rush them anymore. So that's why we give the date. But like I said, give me 2 minutes. I will be at the house and I'll be able to share a scope of work from these guys.
No worries. Take your time. Take your time on that. In the meantime, we can talk about the plan after you launch. So I know that you guys have taken a very different approach to raising funds. So what about your approach after you launch?
Well, and again, that's where we have multiple streams of revenue coming there. And of course, our general, the easiest is the projects we bring to the space. So instead of collecting tokens, we have a set fee depending on what we collect for that project. Not only that, our NFT, the funds we raise from our NFT are going straight to our development of the project. Hold on, guys. I'm getting ready to hit a dead spot. Give me 1 second.
No worries. Take your time. Take your time.
All right. No, I'm on my street. I know where there's a dead spot every time. So, and again, our taxes, you'll see if you go to that section, over half of our taxes goes to LP. The rest, we got a 2% team tax because none of our team actually has any tokens to sell because our core team wallet is locked for a year and then has a vesting schedule of another year after that. So we don't have tokens available. So we actually have a fee that takes care of the team in-house through the buy and sell. Now then there's also the development, which through taxes. So of course this isn't sustainable on a level because no one keeps a huge or a massive volume. And again, that's where with what we've collected, we have liquidity reserve, and a large, if you look at the funds allocation, a large amount of what we're collecting is going to marketing. If we collect our full amount, I mean, that has us almost a $700,000 marketing budget. So, and then if you, like I said, if you, at the funds allocations, you'll see the breakdown of everything. And one
Huge
reason, we did it this way. We did it because we're going on Cronos, and because they don't have the volume of say BSC or Ethereum, we need to be prepared for if volume does drop off. So, and the way we've done this is by having these funds allocations and set back for the future, where it's not just blowing everything right at launch or pre-launch with our pre-launch marketing. Hold on. So what that does, sustainability by having funds put back for the project.
Which makes total sense. I wanted to ask you actually, this is a personal question that I've been thinking about for some time. I know that you guys are going to have a very different process in picking up people that would be able to invest in the different projects that you guys will be launching. So can you explain to us that project and how is this? Because I know that it will depend on the number of tickets, which is basically the number of tokens you're holding.
Hello?
So how is that going to work?
Yeah. So what we're having is what we call, it's a lottery system. We have an anti-whale system we're setting up. And what that'll be, it eliminates tiers. So with it eliminating the tier system, what it does is gives anyone who enters that lottery an opportunity to have the same allocation across the board. So the way you'll get into that lottery, again, like you're saying, you'll have a minimum holder and a minimum amount staked. So let's just say roughly it's $250 to start out at launch, because that's the lower amount, or even if it's lower. So that would give you one ticket into the lottery. So, and the way you get that ticket is going to our utility and applying for that IDO. So by applying for the IDO, what that does, it eliminates people who do not want to enter into this project. So not everyone's going to purchase or want allocation for every single project. We've learned that from working with other launch pads. So what this does, it actually gives the people who want in an opportunity, instead of just having allocation set up for, say, 5,000 people, but only 1,000 participate. So back to the lottery. So if we start our ticket allocation at $250, say you have someone that has $50,000 worth of tokens staked, what they'll do is we'll have a mathematical equation for every so much above, say, for every $250, you get another tenth of a ticket. So what that does, the whale who has $50,000 might have an opportunity to have, say, 5 tickets in that lottery. So once the time allocation is up for the lottery and everybody wants to get involved, they'll have a drawing. And of course, for each wallet, there'll only be one allocation. So what that does, again, like I said, it spreads out an equal allocation for everyone that has won the lottery to be able to participate. And we'll also have a cool down period. So say the winner of one project, if we have another one coming, say 7 days later, we'll have a cool down period where if you've won that one, you won't be able to win the next one. That way, in case everyone that didn't get in that wanted to, will have an opportunity on the next one. So what it does, it just eliminates that large bag holder from being the one to take the most allocation, and it just makes it more of a fair system.
But what if I want to invest in multiple projects? Like, how can I make sure that the cooldown doesn't necessarily affect me in a way if I am interested in investing in different projects?
Well, honestly, we don't plan on having multiple projects that close together. That defeats the point of an incubation. So I don't see one coming within 7 days. In other words, we aren't looking for the quantity, we're looking for more quality. So we have that there in case it happens, but personally, I don't see it happening or want it to happen, because the reason why, you can't put enough effort into incubating 2 projects at the same time. So you wouldn't want them to launch that close, because it would take away from it.
That makes sense. And I'd like to take a question from the community here. So we have Scorpion who asked, any partnerships revealed with crypto.com? Also, are you planning on hiring or incentivizing people through ambassador program to educate people on other blockchains to come to Cronos? So basically, well, is there any partnership that you want to tease?
Honestly, I can't. The only one I can definitely 100% give you is Beyond It. We've talked to a partnership. We haven't been announced, or we haven't announced at our side. We've been working and speaking with Polygon Studios, because we're going to be going cross chain, since we'll be able to launch Polygon projects, whether they're NFT or tokens. So that's one I can tell you about. Crypto.com, no, we do not have anything with them yet. We have reached out. We have spoken with them about EVM grants and possibly their Crypto.com ventures. Nothing is sealed and signed on that. But ambassador-wise, we are looking at doing an ambassador program. And again, because we're going to be cross-chain, and we do need to bring in people from other blockchains as investors to Cronos. And it's better to bring them in now instead of waiting to, like most people got into, for example, BSC. I mean, I remember being there at $30 a token, and that was still late, in my opinion. Any announcements will be done through our official channels, which we do have a couple coming soon, but I don't want to give any away till they are officially announced.
So for those of you who are not already in LitBit TG, I'm going to share it right now so you can go have a look. please join their communities to keep updated on any partnership or anything that's coming up. The guys are super legit. They've been around. Everyone knows them. Everyone loves them. And the project is huge. Honestly, it's been a while that I haven't been this excited about a project. This brings me to another question from one of our community members, Kryptonair, who's asking, are the projects being launched required to have any special requirements to give investors peace of mind? For example, getting dogs, maybe having other projects. Well, basically, what are the prerequisites to launch on LitBit?
Well, now we didn't get into this side either. We're going to have actual 2 launch pads. We'll have our IDO launch pad, which is what we'll be incubating. Now, that'll be extensive vetting. And like I said, when it comes to vetting, that'll be extensive doxing to my team personally, to me personally. It's going to be extensive vetting of the code, making sure it's a legitimate code, the contract, socials. I mean, there's going to be, it would be easier to, it's going to be a pain in the ass. Let me just put it as blunt as I can. It's going to have to be a utility project. We're not going to be launching or doing any kind of IDOs for memes or rewards tokens or anything along that lines. You're going to have a utility and a very good utility, and show us proof of work of that utility before we move forward. Now, we will also be doing an autonomous pre-sale launch pad. So that is similar to what you see in the space when it comes to DXL and Pinksell, where you can have someone can bring their own contract and launch. Now, even for that side, we're going to be more picky. It's going to take more than just a KYC sending over a photo of, it could be your freaking aunt. We want to be able to know to an extent what we're bringing to the public. So it's going to take a little more than just a KYC. It's going to be a doxing. We're going to have to see a contract verified through our devs. It's like I said, again, we just don't want anyone to be able to copy and paste and boom, throw a honeypot out there or a rug or any of these things. So we're going to be extremely mindful and extremely picky. And if the devs or project owners don't want to do these things, they will not be brought to the public by our launch pad or our pre-sale pads.
Interesting, actually, that you brought this copy pasting, and this is something that we've seen. I mean, BSC is just a copy paste at every single turn. But is there a way, or are you guys planning to do something about educating developers? I know that Crow is using Solidity as well. However, there most probably are some small differences between it and other chains. Is there something you guys are planning to educate actually the developers?
Well, and you know what? Honestly, we hadn't looked too much into that, but other than when it came to if it's a project we're working with. Of course, if it's a project we're working with, they'll have that tech support, and not only from us, but whoever we work with. Say if we partner with a particular blockchain, Cardano, Polygon, or anyone along that lines. So, yeah, I mean that's of course a direction we can go in the future, but it's not something we have prepared for at the moment or at launch. Our main focus is going to be educating and bringing more information to the investors. Even our utility page, our whole new website has been redesigned with our utility involved, and that's not up yet. Our just original landing page with information is up. Our new page has a full section just for news and education, whether it's for even our podcasts or any other blockchain news, crypto information, not everything just pertaining to us. We plan on, like I said, educating about the blockchain and crypto in general.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I just want to remind our community here that we'll be giving off 5 whitelists for the pre-sale for LitBit. So guys will be choosing mainly from people who are asking questions, and that's why I will be opening the floor now to the community to ask some of their questions. Do we have anyone on the voice chat who wants to ask a question?
Hey man, how you doing? You okay?
Yeah, all good.
Yes,
all
sir.
good.
Yes, sir.
Good. I'm at work at the moment, so I'm I'm trying my best. But I was gonna say I've been following your project a little bit, and it sounds like it's the real deal, man. I think you guys are gonna do really really well. I just wanted to basically congratulate you for what you're gonna achieve, because it's gonna be massive, man.
Oh, I
And,
appreciate it, man. And
yeah.
honestly, that's what we're working for. And that's why, like I said, that's why our faces and reputation are on this. And it's something, and we, like I said, we are speaking with Polygon Studios. You don't see that, the whole team being doxxed. That is something that is unheard of. And the reason we have done that is to create a little more sustainability and credibility behind a project we're doing, because it's going to be a real world business. So hopefully we can achieve everything we want to. If we achieve 1/10 of what we're planning on it, we'll still be successful.
Wow, amazing, man. And good luck. I'm sure you're gonna smash it.
Well, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Cryptonair. Do we have anyone else here with us who wants to ask a question to Savage Finisher about the project?
Yeah, I got a question.
Please go ahead.
So kind of looking at like your funds allocation, obviously those are some very, very large numbers in comparison to like what a lot of projects are doing. Always curious, 25% going to marketing, $750,000 nearly. How is that going to be broken down, and predominantly what are you guys going to be using that for? Just because I know marketing's expensive, but that seems like a lot.
Well, it depends. Well, it depends on what you're marketing. We're actually going for more than just your standard crypto marketing. I'll give you a perfect example. And like I said, it's because we're having an NFT project involved in this also. So I'm not going to say a name, but there was a particular project that spent $450,000 on marketing through social media, as in Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Now, and out of that, guess who bought one of his NFTs? Gary V. Gary V bought that NFT because he kept seeing it through social media. Now, that currently has a 15 ETH floor. And it because it got out. Again, that's the strange thing when it comes to a lot of these projects. They don't do a lot of real world marketing. One of our advisors, again, is or that we're dealing with, we haven't signed it, is the same thing. I mean, some of these literally marketing companies, when it comes to real world, say it's Forbes, Yahoo, and all that, they're not cheap. And again, this is more than just marketing at launch or marketing pre-launch. With the lower volume that you see on the Cronos blockchain compared to BSC, we have to be prepared for that. So, I mean, if you look at some of the projects, if you go do any due diligence over there, I mean, 100,000 to 500,000 is massive volume on a daily basis in the current state of the market. So we're preparing all this to sustain the future, not just hoping that our taxes pay for everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally understand that. But like breaking it down, like the business development operations, all of those allocations are covering those types of things. Like more of like I guess like a directed. I understand that you're going out into the market and trying to target things that are not traditional crypto, say like influencers and that type of stuff, which is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but I still think like $1 million for something that should almost really market itself, right, within a new space like Cronos. I just feel like it's a lot, and that's kind of why I was just looking to get a little bit of direction from you on kind of the types of exacts, because it kind of like went all around of where we're trying to sustain it for the future, which is I believe that's a really solid point to have, but really just want to yeah.
You can spend $1,000 a day on Facebook ads in the blink of an eye. Same with Instagram, Twitter, and anywhere else. I mean, on each platform. Easily, if you want an outreach and a huge outreach, you can spend easily $1,000 a day. So, I mean, and again, these are the platforms we're going to get listed or even posted, like I was saying, a Forbes article, just one, and even if you got a hookup, it's $4,000 to $7,000. So again, like I said, everybody thinks crypto, they think influencers and this and that, or so and so's calls and this guy on Twitter or this guy on YouTube. You know, that, yeah, they're expensive, but again, they're pump and dumps. And I'm just being 100% honest, and that's not what we're going for, and that's not the direction we're going. So real world marketing, and if you want a real world outreach, isn't cheap. I mean, like I said, I've done it on other projects. It's nothing to spend $1,000 a day. That's not even using a marketing company. That's just going directly through them, you creating your own ad and everything. So, I mean, that's 30 grand a month just for one of those platforms.
I think,
Thank you.
if you would allow me, guys, just to add a point before you continue your discussion. I think it's not about how much you spend, but how wisely you spend it. I think you can spend money everywhere, and this comes from a marketeer. I've been the head of marketing for different multinational companies and government entities for 8 years, and I can tell you can spend money everywhere. It's just how wisely you spend it and how targeted is your spending. That's the key, I believe.
Right. And again, and like I said, I know it's a large number, and I've seen plenty of projects collect way more than we're collecting, but I've also seen those projects not have any money the week after launch. So again, anytime if you're doing anything as a business, if you're crowdfunding as a business, when you do that, you have a business plan. You set up for long term. You don't set up for pre-launch. You don't set up for a week after launch. You set up for a year, 2 years. And that's where those funds should be done and spent and allocated correctly. Again, there's always two different ways in this space you can do things. You can do it the crypto way, or you can try to run your project like a real world business. We are coming from, as myself, like I said, I've owned 2 businesses in the real world. My partner and COO, he still runs a business that has 60 employees, a multi-million-dollar a year business. I mean, this is the way we're running our project. This is the way we're setting our project up, because that's what's going to give it longevity.
All right, so I think we need to take a couple of other questions. Papa Sky, I see your other question. I'll leave it till if I don't see someone else asking a question, because you've been asking a lot of questions now. We'll just hold on that. You're welcome. Do we have anyone else who has a question for Savage Finisher? Anyone on the voice chat? Anyone on the main group? Whichever works for you guys. Just keep in mind that that's the way we'll be given the whitelist.
So you know how you mentioned. So can I speak or?
Yeah, go
Please
ahead.
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Make it short so we get someone else. You two guys are going to ask all the questions.
Right. So basically, you know how you mentioned that there's a system in place to stop where there's a cooldown and stuff like that. I think you might have already answered it, but if I got into LitBit, I want to get into all of them potentially. How can I make that a possibility, or is that not possible?
Well, no, it's possible. Again, and like I said, we have that contingency because we don't plan on launching that many projects back to back. There's nothing we plan on doing back to back. So, but like I said, we don't know how the size we will grow to. So if we got to a point where we had more, I mean, right now it's all lottery, like I said. So there's no guarantee everyone will get into everyone to begin with, depending on the amount of holders, depending on the amount of people that are involved in the lottery. No different
Right.
with a first.
I see. Okay, thank you so much. You know what? That gives me a bit of peace of mind as well, because you won't get one person holding everything like myself. Well, that would try to anyway.
Right. And that's the whole point of it, and that's where the tier system and the whales come in, because generally in a tier system, your whales or your top tier has the most allocation, has the most opportunity, and the most time. So it doesn't make it fair to anyone else. So our goal is to even the playing fields between all holders.
which is a very, very fair point. And I'm going to stop talking so I give someone else the opportunity to talk. But thank you for answering my question.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you, Kryptonair. Do we have anyone else who has a question for Savage Finisher? Anyone on the chat? Anyone on the voice chat?
Thorough.
Yes, please. Terry, you wanted to say something?
Oh no, I was saying he was pretty thorough. He actually covered everything I thought of in the meantime.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think he's been very thorough and walking us through everything. Now he's showing us a fancy video.
I mean, again, is there anything else that you can think of? I mean, we haven't covered in one of the AMAs you've been in, Ash?
I think from my side, most of the questions that I wanted to ask have been answered either here or in the other AMA or on chat, because I think we do talk to each other at least once per day.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we do have that interaction ongoing. I think Shinobi is writing a question, so let's wait for him.
Okay.
That doesn't count.
Yeah. Honestly, your better question would be when CryptoCom, because that's who we're shooting for, and that's something I mean, like I said, and that's a difficult process, and I'll tell you guys, but that is already something we've already reached out from them from the beginning and before launch. We're trying to do as much there also, because that would be awesome for any project if we could already get on their D app or any of that through their DeFi wallet. So these are all things we're already putting in effort to try to do, and we're trying to do them now instead of waiting till launch, which like you see with a lot of projects. We're putting all the effort in on the front end instead of waiting to having a token launch and then doing everything afterwards. So again, that's where we're doing everything more of as a business instead of your standard crypto project.
Yeah, which makes total sense.
And
Let me
that's not
see.
cheap. So that's
It
something
isn't.
else to answer on the funds allocation. You know how much it costs to get listed on CryptoCom? $500,000.
That's huge. But again, the return of it is impressive,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So, and that's where those funds allocations come into play, and even marketing. So, if we got told even before launch that we could go in, we'd have to have that money available, and that's where those funds allocations come in.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Let's see if we have another question. If we don't have, well, we'll just wrap it up, or we'll ask Papa Sky's question, which he asked before. He's asking, is operation expenses included, including your salaries for LitBit, coming from basically where are they coming from?
And that's coming from our tax. We have a 2% dev tax. That's where our salaries come in. We get paid through tax. That's the whole team. We don't have tokens. Like I said, our tokens are locked for a year, or the core team, they're locked for a year and then vetted out past that. So our pay will come through literally taxation.
Which makes total sense. And I believe the volume will have to be high, which will push the team to actually work harder in order for them to get their pay.
Exactly. And that's another thing we didn't touch here. Our team has all worked together for almost a year now. Everyone you see doxed on our website has been together in previous projects. We met last May in a large BSC project. Most people were in it for almost 6 months or more. And it was did very well at launch. It was during the bull run, and it's still around today. But we've all worked together there. And after leaving that project, they came and worked with Tino and I on the Milky Way Launchpad as the pre-team and managing that project. And while we were doing that, when we did that, and honestly, the main reason we did that project was for insight into how a launch pad is operated not just as the community wise, but how the devs do what they do and see how that affects the project. So that's where our experience that we learned from them, their mistakes, we were able to bring in and know what not to do with our project, which was in production and development the whole time. And they knew that when we went in with them, they knew our project was in development. So, and that's another reason we were brought in. So we all work as a family. We all get along awesome. I mean, we've been dealing with each other for, like I said, almost a year. So that's why we're called the Dream Team.
Amazing. So thank you, the Dream Team, for joining us today. I think we had a beautiful time together. Unfortunately, we'll have to bring this AMA to an end because we'll have to prepare for another AMA coming up in an hour. In the meantime, I will let my colleague G. Where is G? Are you around? G isn't around. John, yeah, he's never around. John, are you going to handle the whitelist giveaways?
Yeah, I'm here. I am. Yeah, I can do it. What's
So I've recorded the questions that we've received, and I've sent them in the team group, so you can have a look at that, and then see how we will dispatch the 5 whitelists.
Does Savage have a favorite question that he thought of? Maybe he has some of the questions you received from the audience, Savage. Is there anyone that stand out for you?
Oh Lord, I wouldn't even. I didn't record them mentally, to be honest with you. And again, you guys are more than welcome to handle that however you like. Because
we
honestly,
will.
I
So,
didn't. I didn't catch.
no. No, that's fine. We have 12 people in the core team that can vote on the best ones. So
yeah,
that is.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with that. If you'd have told me to pay attention a little better about remembering the questions, I probably would have.
Yes, I did not remember to do that. You know.
Yeah, you're all right, man.
All right, guys, I'll leave the VC open if you guys wanna continue hanging out, but on an official term, we can stop the recording for the VC. And if you guys have anything else to discuss, I'll leave the floor open to you. Thank you, Savage, for joining us. Thank you, the team from LitBit, for joining us and being part of the Cronies community. And we're all looking forward to see the beautiful launch that you guys are preparing for us and the beautiful project that you're working on. I am absolutely a fan of what you guys are doing, and honestly, my end game would be to actually have access and early access to beautiful projects. So thank you guys for being with us. Thank you guys for giving us the opportunity to join you early, and thank you guys for giving us the whitelist for the community.
Well, thanks for having us. And like I said, I mean, you guys know I stop in over here all the time. I'm pretty frequent in all the lounges, and always available if anyone has any questions, whether it be in RTG or DM me. I do answer my DMs, believe it or not, but our team is always available. So, and that's another thing to any and all communities. So if there's anything you need, reach out to us, and we are here.
For sure. Thank you so much. Thank you, Savage.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye. Thank you.